Lich. Lich I am 6-3 on, which is not... That's not 100%, to be sure. Alright, back at it. How many Brotato spreadsheets do I have? I have one, like, pretty main one. Which is, I think, what you get if you type !Brotato, probably. And then there are some that I made before this, but they're, like, deprecated, and this came out when Brotato 1.0 released, and I haven't really looked at the other ones since then. Just made your 8th attempt to get into your beloved JORBS-like game FTL. After all those tries, you sank 40 hours in a week into the game. You've developed a problem. Nice magic, King you. Hey, Fampy. Hey, Brainfist. Alright. Thief Dagger, please. Chopper. Chopper is a weapon. I don't like blades very much. I have not been impressed by House Chopper's scale. I will be trying to sell this and use something else. Is basically where I'm at with Chopper. So we're playing Lich. Lich's special thing is we heal a lot, and when we heal, we deal damage to a random enemy on the map. So as you can see, I am able to kill some stuff around the map. Stuff me healing. We get 50% damage modifications, which starts to matter later in the run. I mean, it starts to matter pretty quickly. But it doesn't matter right now. Right now, we are stronger than usual. We don't have any damage modifications, so right now we just have plus 10 HP regen, plus 10% lifesteal, and 100% chance to deal 11 damage to a random enemy when we heal, which is all great. It means it's very easy to take harvesting here. I would take harvesting anyway, but, like, especially here. I think it's perfectly reasonable to just roll here. I don't think I'm, like, recycling my chopper. Am I? Let's try it. Alright, cool. We get to play Ghost Weapon Lich. I don't hate it. Let's grab an ugly tooth. Item's kind of broken. Hey, Mr. Pinchy Claw! JORBS, I'm playing a first-person shooter game. Wait, it's first-person shooter? Oh, I didn't know that. I thought it was top-down. Well, let's see how that goes. I need to tweet about it, by the way. Somebody remind me to do that after this wave. I'll remember, I think. It's 5 seconds from now. I can probably remember something for that long, right? Toward the something's 10 months. Do appreciate it. Copy. Paste. Going to share that image as well. You accepted an offer today. Thank you, or congratulations toward the sun. Why did I say thank you? Thank you, Wax Papers. Is why I said thank you. Congratulations. I hope it's really sweet. Good Magic the Gathering video hit close to home in a lot of ways for you. I think it's something a lot of people who have grown up playing strategy games can relate to. That video. So Lich is interesting. We want to... we get 50% damage modifiers and a bunch of ghost axes, which do nothing except give us damage modifiers, by the way. Lich wants to take damage so that I can be healing throughout the wave. Because healing is a way to deal damage to the things around me. I take Gentle Alien. Max HP is good. I think max HP is very good right now. We like have some weapons set up. We want some max HP, some armor. Hey May, how are you? Even though the ghost axes give half the damage percent increase, getting some damage percent increase is pretty good in this game, and so I'm not upset to be trying to get it anyway. You kind of like have to get it anyway. There are some stats where if they're debuffed for your character, you ignore them. Damage percent is not one of those. Damage percent is just one where it's like, okay, well, I guess I have to try to get twice as much of it. Wave 5. I'm gonna go for one more harvesting. It's like a touch greedy. It feels a touch greedy. I think Alien Worm's fine here because not that much of my healing is from consumables, and I care about proccing a point of healing as often as possible. So consumables upon pickup are still going to heal me to proc my passive. Also, it gives me +3 max HP, so my passive now deals more damage. HP regen is pretty good. Which is such a frustratingly difficult character. I like that word frustratingly, because I think a thing about Lich's difficulty is that Lich is very easy at the start of the run, and then kind of becomes very hard because you get 50% damage modifiers, and damage turns out to be kind of important in this game. So, I know what you mean. I think we'll be okay this run. I think our ghost weapons are just gonna carry. We'll see though. You got my Millennia fight on VOD. You're very impressed by my strategy of simply hitting her until she died. Yeah, I thought it was the way to go. I'll take some max HP here. So, ooh. Yeah, let's take an alloy. I care about melee and range damage if I'm going for ghost weapons. Do a somewhat unique thing about ghost weapons that they care about both of those. Thermodone, thanks for the 43 months. You're gonna ask me a long question about my Magic the Gathering video. Is it going to require intricate amounts of thought on my part? You can ask it, but I cannot promise I can answer it. How about that? Because for that sort of subject, there's some stuff which I would rather, like, think about instead of trying to answer live with 50% of my attention while I'm playing a video game with the rest of it, you know? You were just watching JORBS play Brotato on YouTube. Fucking past JORBS. Actually, I suspect that that counts as present JORBS in this situation. That's probably runs from this rotation. Those ones are on our team. Alright, we got 2/2/2 ghost weapons, all blue, even getting into purples. We have 41 max HP. Our flat damage is kind of low, but I am essentially, yeah, I believe what I'm about to say is true. So when you upgrade a weapon, it deals more damage than before, right? And so weapon upgrades are better on Lich than usual because you don't get minus 50% to the way that your weapon is dealing more damage when you upgrade it that way. So most ways to deal more damage on Lich have a minus 50% on them, but weapon upgrades do deal more damage, just as much as they would on other characters. Just trying to get hit every now and then so we can keep healing there. Did a pretty good job that wave, in my opinion. I'm gonna take a bit of luck. Sure, sure. I do think armor is important. Take a bit of armor. Let's take more HP regen, why not? I'm gonna lock glasses. Go next. There are a lot of interesting things in the video, but you do have something you would like my enlightenment about. You're working on your own emotional intelligence and social nuance. Since you're liking that area, you're struggling to understand or perhaps misunderstood. The argument from us that the idea of your own subject action is reasonably worthy of ridicule to the player. Well, I don't think it justifies ridicule. I think that that is a response that you might expect from somebody, like, being really mean to staff working an event on social media. But yeah, in general, I don't think that ridiculing people is a thing that is usually deserved. But yeah, the reason I said that in that video was I was juxtaposing it to what actually happened, which was like people were ridiculing the judges at the event in their responses on social media, which is like not a thing that I expected, even though social media is pretty bad sometimes. Hey Gabs the Bard! Unless it's you, May. Yeah, we get to coffee. What if there was a ghost swap that gave you armor instead of HP? Oh, I would love that. I love armor. Armor is like my favorite stat. I don't think we take a bowler hat. I think we have enough luck in harvesting probably. At this point, we are focused on improving combat stats with the amount of scaling that we have set up. Like, we not only have a horde on wave 11, I think incendiary turret's okay. We have 4 engineering, just kind of randomly from alloy and a duct tape, so it deals a little bit of extra damage. I was halfway through a question, and then halfway through a statement, and then I picked up an incendiary turret. And I don't remember what I was saying now. Yeah, I slept like 3 hours last night, so doing my best. One interesting angle in this wave, I could have locked the incendiary turret because I actively don't want it to take kills on wave 9 when I have ghost weapons. I want my ghost weapons to get the kills so they can give me scaling stats. Then I probably do want the incendiary turret later in the run. I tried any of the modded potatoes. I might have a little bit. Do I still have my Ura ring? Yeah, it's on my desk. I haven't been wearing it as much recently. The thing is, I stopped looking at the data from it. It still fits and is comfortable. Yeah, I like it. I also... This is weird, but sometimes like my finger feels claustrophobic if I wear a ring. And over the course of my life, that feeling has come and gone. And recently I've been having the feeling a little bit more. I think it's related to stress. It's a very strange feeling. You have that feeling amplified by general anxiety for sure. Yeah, I don't know if it's a universal thing, but I get it a little bit. Alien Eyes is fine. Our character is trying to have a lot of max HP. Tentacle? It's okay. 8? Sure. We have a red ghost axe. I'm down for like 2 red ghost axes, a red flint, and 3 red scepters. So I'm looking for lots of scepters right now. I will buy this though. With a wave 11 horde, I think grabbing some knockback for our ghost weapons makes sense. Let's grab a boxing glove. I'm gonna lock wheat. I care about melee and range damage, and anytime that's the case, I feel like wheat's a pretty good upgrade. Friends getting married and told you that wearing the ring makes her uncomfortable in a similar way to what you've described. Yeah, it's like, I don't know. My finger is true. It is mostly fine. I can take it off at any time. But yeah, sometimes it just makes me less excited to wear it. Nothing to do with the ring itself, which is still comfortable, and the last time I checked at least, it still works several years after buying it in terms of tracking things like heart rate and movement. The ring's all fine. On a wheelbarrow? Not really. Horde wave. I do like range a lot. I think I'm gonna skip that. Feels like a bad shop phase. Feels like a bad shop phase. I'm just not gonna roll for 35. That's expensive. I have a ring that measures heart rate. Yeah, it's called an Ura ring. O-U-R-A. They have a newer model out since I bought mine. So you can get a fancier one now than what I have. Oh, that's my phone alarm. Eh. I did not sleep very well last night, so I set an alarm for 4 p.m. to make sure that I had enough time to do the things I needed to do today. That's a window into how my life's going. Hey Arya, I'm glad you enjoyed the video. This feels like I just have ghost weapons and will win now. I wonder how much damage my Lich passive is doing this wave. It's gotta be quite a bit. I also wonder if knockback is the difference between winning and losing in this wave. I don't know. 690 materials. Want a baby with a beard? I don't think I care. Buy this. It's kind of not incredible, but fine. We'll just go 222 all the way. Works for me. I don't think we need wisdom. We've got a good chunk of... I didn't take Triangle of Power, right? A good chunk of stuff. With blood donation, I can make it so I don't have to get hit by things anymore. It's kind of weird. It's kind of weird. I didn't have any trouble getting hit by things last week. In fact, I would argue that it was difficult not to get hit by things, but maybe it's okay. What's my passive at? 17,000 damage? Not bad. I think hunting trophy probably pays for itself in not too long. The channel was advertising those and getting the name wrong every time. Sometimes that happens. Sometimes that happens. Am I following the T20? I have not watched many games. I watched like a little bit of the Uganda versus Afghanistan match, I think. I have seen Team USA's results. I have seen those reported. That's pretty cool. I hope that cricket takes off in the US. That would be awesome. I would love that. Fucking love cricket. Seattle has a cricket team, but the US League is in such an infant state that, like, Seattle's cricket team doesn't actually play in Seattle. They go to grounds in, like, Texas or something to actually play their games. Unfortunately. They beat your country. Way to go, US of A. Oh, I don't know the song. Oh, son. Pledge allegiance to the flag. Get my patriotism going here. That was actually all of it. I've run out now. We do have some lifesteal, and we have Ghost Jivs, which are giving us more attack speed, and there's nothing in Lich's damage modifications, only worth 50%, that reduces the effectiveness of attack speed. So my sustain should just keep on getting better and better and better as my attack speed gets more and more bigger. Like I said, I didn't sleep that much last night. We salute the flag of our ancestors in this household, says Gil, my man, who shares the trans rights flag, except with transient on it. It's like the cornhole leagues on ESPN2, where they say they're from XYZ city, but all matches are played at a central location. The players aren't even from XYZ cities. Uh-huh. Yes. Yes, it is like that. The MTG video is a product of Sleepless Jorbs. Yeah. I am not sure that there's a direct connection between the two, but that is something that I did while I was having insomnia. Ooh. This is a pretty good elite to get with Ghost Weapons, because once we get it to 50% health, it now starts spawning a billion things, which run at me, and buff all of my stats when I kill them with my Ghost Weapons. I should stop getting hit. I kept getting hit instead. I just got a dodge on a lethal attack. Oh. My brain is not fired up at the moment. Also, Lich wasn't on screen the entire time. Oh! In fairness, I do have 24% dodge. Dodge is part of my defensive stats. Hey, and we survived long enough to get Medkit. If that's not enough to win the run, I don't even know. I can't buy Weird Ghost. Actually, can I buy Weird Ghost? How much HP regen do you have to buy to be able to buy Weird Ghost? Does anybody know? Does anybody just like off the top of their head know that number? Can I Google this? I've never deliberately bought Weird Ghost without tardigrade when I have something dealing me damage every second. Medkit and Shuriken in this game too. It's a good game. It's a good game. They also have Claw. A 64-bit robot. There's a simple way to check. Alright. You're not helping. I won't do it then. No fun. That looked like I regened about 5 times before taking 1 damage. So I think it would have been okay. You found something on Steam. JavaScript forum reply to post 1 per second. Depends on your max HP. Every 5 seconds you regenerate a percentage of your health. 100 HP needs 5%. That is certainly a thing about HP regen. I appreciate your dogged spirit and attempts to help. I could have bought it. I regened like 5 times before I took my first damage. Cowardice. I'm a coward. I bet ManyJorbs would have done it too. Even if I'm beating him, can I really claim the moral high ground? It's a win in exact definition only. Post so old that you think it used old healing. Yeah, that's what it looks like to me as well. I appreciate you anyway, though. I've been offered so many purple ghost ones. I'll just take it. I don't have any bags yet. Buy this pays for itself in like 1 wave. Am I beating ManyJorbs on vibes as well? No. ManyJorbs was like much more charismatic than me. Like wittier and more handsome. Basically, my only advantages are experience and want to get more. If I had died this run, it would have been 100% because I took blood donation. Like in that situation where I almost died, blood donation meant I had something like 50 health less than I would have without it. Which is a lot more negative than the positive it has given me. I think buying blood donation was cool, but incorrect. For what it's worth, that's what I thought when I bought blood donation as well. At least I'm better than future JORBS? Ew. Let's not talk about him. Do you think I will grow old and become a conservative Twitch chat? Will I lose touch with the children? Oh! We have a chance to redeem ourselves by buying Weird Ghost twice. Outstanding. As long as you don't say something like Pokemon go to the polls, I think you'll be alright. Is that a Hillary quote? Who said that? I remember that being a thing. Is it a Hillary quote? I've started a book about her 2016? That's the right year, right? her campaign where she was in a tremendously difficult primary against Bernie and then lost to Trump. So far it's an interesting book. It's called Shattered, I think, or Fractured, or something like that. I think Shattered. Just a really interesting, like, somewhat transparent look at what happened. His Brotatoes are light and nimble. He never sleeps. He says that he will never die. He dances in light and in shadow, and he is a great favorite. He never sleeps, old Jorbs. He is dancing. Dancing. He says that he will never die. I think I would rather become an Eldritch Horror than an out of touch, get off my lawn type. Although are Eldritch Horrors the world's original get off my lawn types, maybe? Also, in fairness, like, I don't really want kids on my lawn either. I can see how that would be irritating. Eldritch Horrors are more of a get off my plane type. You sure that's not Taylor Swift? Is Taylor Swift an Eldritch Horror? Hey Zibrin, how are you? Who are these kids who always want to be playing on my lawn? Yeah, I mean, I get it. It's a fair question. What the hell, children? No, I think more realistically, I would be pretty happy if kids were playing in my yard instead of somewhere that was maybe more dangerous for them. For now, we can check in 5 years. You never know how to evaluate the Lich damage ability. Yeah, it doesn't do anything. $139,000? Wow. Never mind, it's really good. Alright, in fairness, this is a very good one for it. I have a lot of HP regen. I do think it's an ability where you can honestly just look at the number and see if it's high or low. I guess maybe without the mod that I'm using, it doesn't have a number, which would make it a lot harder to evaluate. Hey Zelda Muse! You'd rather them be playing in your yard than someone else who would care too much as long as they ain't leaving a mess or something. Yeah. Yeah, that would be less good. The Gatling Laser. Gatling Laser's real strong. This is the final wave? Okay. Oh. How much? I have to recycle 2 weapons for it. I think it would probably increase my kill speed. Yeah, let's do it. It's moot at this point. We win either way. But I do have pretty high crit chance, and we're fighting things with a massive amount of health, and Giant Spelt is very good in that situation. GG! We have defeated Lich, starting with Chopper. For our notes here, open soul Chopper and rolled into a Ghost Axe, went 2/2/2 Ghost Weapons almost the entire way. Was a failed dodge from Lethal against Wave 14 Elite. So it's actually kind of close, although it wasn't close at any other point. It was just close at that point. Kind of interesting. Oh. We got a check. Oh, that is, sorry, there's some daylight there. That is the largest lead that I have had so far. I am +3. I've never been +3 before. Have I ever been more than +1? Yes. Yes, I've been +2 before, but never +3. Who next? Old Jorbs says, now says he might die actually. Old Jorbs, no. It's Apprentice! Why battle against past Jorbs? Yeah, because it's important. It's important to strive to better ourselves. Growth mindset. What do we get? Ghost Axe. Ghost weapons again. Apprentice is interesting. So the stuff that says, 2 melee damage, 1 range damage, 1 elemental damage, 1 engineering when you level up, -2 max HP when you level up, that is net extremely, extremely, extremely profitable. Like, 3 max HP is worth about the same as 2 melee damage or 1 range damage, I would say. That's like approximately how the game evaluates them. And then also we got elemental damage and engineering. So yeah, overall what Apprentice gets is far, 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 far more stats. Like, you have more money worth of stats than you would if you were just a vanilla potato. On the other hand, the stats are kind of awkward. Like, you are not necessarily going to make use of melee, ranged, elemental, and engineering all at the same time. There are some things which do it better than others. Ghost Axe is not a good example of them, though. Ghost Axe only cares about melee damage. Ghost Axe plus Ghost Scepter, on the other hand, does become an example where you're caring about melee and ranged. And you do get -2 max HP when you level up, which means if you don't find ways to increase your max HP, you can have very low max HP. And you don't have that much control over whether you find ways to increase your max HP or not. Jam, thanks for the 59 months. Or D-Bag, thanks for the 39 months. It makes the Spiky Club so good. I really like Cactus Club. Cactus Club is a good time. I think it's just, like, fairly often pretty good. You can't go below 1 max HP, that is correct. Also, as you can see here, if you lose max HP during the wave, it doesn't reduce your current HP, as I'm currently at 10 out of 9. Also, you get, by default, +1 max HP every time you level up, so it's only going down by 1 every time we level up, actually. We don't ever need to take engineering or range damage, really. Like, that's not a thing that we need to do with our level up stats. I just take max HP? I think it's fine. I will take a bag. I will take a Ghost Axe. Huh, fine. +2, +3. +3 now. I just won one that I lost on last time. There are actually a lot of weapons that benefit from Apprentice. There are, yeah. Plank is a really good one. But yeah, quite a lot of weapons care about 2 or even 3 types of stats. I'm going to approach this by just trying to keep my max HP high, and assuming that the fact I'm building ghost weapons and getting melee and range damage every time I level up is going to win the run for me comfortably otherwise. I could use some ghost scepters. Did I buy a bag? I did buy a bag as well, so I do have some economy. Although I don't necessarily find any crates for the bag to benefit from. Nice to one-shot these. Got some level ups there. There was a tree. I didn't see it until too late. I'm gonna take harvesting. I'm gonna go for 9% dodge. It was purple. I don't know. I don't usually take dodge super high. Looking for max HP still. Alright. Played through Brotato with a friend, swapping controller every death, and got through all of D5. That's really cool. It's a fun way to do it. Did you see that there's a DLC coming out which has local co-op really soon? My health has increased by leveling up, by which I mean it has decreased, but the percentage of it that I have has increased. Well, it didn't decrease, right? It did increase, and also the percentage of it that I had increased by larger amounts than what it increased by. Anyway, I'm not communicating very well here. Alright. Let's do some of this stuff. I'm excited to have Ghost Scepter. Tentacle seems a little expensive. I think Banner's okay, maybe even good. I'm gonna buy a tardigrade too, because I'm at pretty low max HP right now. Why must you kill instead of exploring what lies beyond the level boundaries? I'm trying to let my Ghost Scepter have 100% uptime here. It should one-shot everything with this much ranged damage. And I would like it to stat this wave. You really, like... Oh wait, unless you decide to just go Glass Cannon and have 1 max HP, which, like, with that tardigrade, that's a little bit more reasonable than it might be in other situations. I really don't have to worry about running out of damage this run. So, the main thing I'm looking at is trying to get more max HP. Got announced a week after you finished. Nice. Did my Ghost Scepter work last wave? I did. Yeah, so basically I expect to win this unless I just get hit by 3 things in a row out of nowhere, which I shouldn't. It's a weird type of, like... It's a weird type of powerful, though. I feel very powerful, except at any moment I could instantly die. Yup. Do I want a Vigilante ring? It's a little bit expensive. I already have Ghost Axes. Do I think about getting a certain amount of materials per wave, or am I just focused on if I can clear it or not? So I've done math on how many materials are available on each wave. So I like kind of understand what's going to happen from a point of view of my economy. In terms of like whether I'm prioritizing killing enemies to get more materials or not, I would say I am not trying to die. It's an interesting question, because, like, the decision-making is very fluid in this game, right? And actually pretty complicated. Like, how much risk do you want to take to kill a few more enemies to get a few more materials at the end of the wave? It's not that easy to decide. I guess I just do the thing that I do, which is a bit of a cop-out answer. Yeah, I'm not taking Pocket Factory. Despite it being with 11 engineering. I don't think. I need more max HP, don't I? Maybe I am taking Pocket Factory. Should we take Pocket Factory? Let's take Pocket Factory. It seems like fun. Some max HP. Fertilizer's fine. I have infinite melee damage. Hey Gathis, how's Orb Pondering going? I played a little bit of Orb on my own offline recently. The answer might be a cop-out. It kind of feels like if I was trying to explain... Like, there are so many reasons why I'm making the movements that I'm making, and they're both strategic and, like, muscle memory kind of related. Like, this is how I've learned to play the game and had success. Yeah, I don't know. He's playing the beta branch for the first time. Nice. Hey, Old Wolf! I have not watched the cricket yet, but it has been wild. We need some armor more than max HP, actually, I think. -5 armor is brutal. I'm not sure if I've been one hit on these waves without the tardigrade. I've lost the tardigrade a couple of times, but have ended up being okay regardless. I kind of want the range on this. Range is kind of nice. That is one thing that I don't get out of my Apprentice scaling. Another reason we want armor is that our Ghost Scepter is going to eventually take over and give us enough max HP. And then armor will be a multiplier for that. I'm surprised there are still 20 seconds. Feels like the wave should be over by now. Just like, I've already gotten so much stuff. Wave 9 is pretty sweet. Thank you, Wave 9. 500 materials, a bunch of ghost weapon stats. I will take crit chance. Crit chance is also a thing that you don't get from Apprentice scaling. More armor is good. Ghost axe is fine. I'm gonna take coffee. I'm gonna take tentacle, I think, as well. Let's go incendiary turret. Let's go alien eyes. These are both fine. I'm just kind of taking valuable stuff. We're about to fight an elite with only 23 health and no sustain, and I'm a little bit concerned I'm going to die. So I'm just kind of taking the things that make me as strong as possible. Hopefully I have enough damage to kill the elite. I don't know. It's kind of iffy. Hopefully I can get to a point where I have 3 hits instead of 2 hits. 4 hits would be ideal even. If I have like no sustain, if I take damage I have to go find a tree. For the most part. Samurai Jubei, I'm glad you enjoyed it. Landmines seem good. Max HP versus speed. I'm gonna go for max HP. I'm gonna go for range here as well. So I've like basically made it so it's easier to hit things. Let's go alien magic for more health. And be as strong as possible for this particular wave, because this particular wave is, I think, the most threatening thing in the game right now. Let's take riposte instead of doing nothing. I do have 48% dodge. So I should have like, I should be able to get hit like 8 times before I die, or something like that, on average. I think. Maybe it's only 6. But with 48% dodge, that's not guaranteed. My Elden Ring playthrough inspired you to make a save in preparation for the DLC just got to Millennia. You forgot how difficult the boss is. Nah, game's easy. You can do it. This boss isn't too bad. It does eventually flood the map with a lot of enemies. That was 1 hit. Unfortunately, against the Wave 11 chasers with the elites, we do have enough damage to just kill them, which is a huge thing. Also, we seem to have enough damage to kill the tentacles here pretty well. Tentacles have a lot of health and can really corner you toward the end of the wave. It appears that I didn't die. That's kind of all I needed, I think. Just needed not to die, and I didn't die. Vibrating sheep. Why does each wave cut off at the timeout rather than letting you clean up the remaining enemies? Yeah, the game chose to, I should have taken monkey, actually, for sustain. That was a bad skip. That was a really good sustain item for me in this spot. Oh well, we'll find something else probably. Speed is good. Hogan's scary if I didn't dodge anything. Did I get a dodge on a hit? Do you mean dodge like me avoiding things by moving, or like my character rolling dodges? Because I don't actually remember rolling a dodge that way. Maybe I did. Command to see wins and losses. I think it's exclamation mark Brotato to see the spreadsheet. I rolled 2 dodges in a row? Damn, 48% dodge. Well, that's what it's for. I don't think ghost weapons are yet for Apprentice. I think this is the wrong way to play this character. I'm gonna say that pretty confidently. But it looks like I'm winning anyway. Saw 2 or 3. I was cornered on the left wall. I was. I don't remember getting hit by anything while I was cornered on the left wall, but maybe I just missed it somehow. Current challenge run on Civ 6 is pretty fun. You know, I've never played one of the challenge runs in Civ 6. What do they do? Is it like weekly or? The character scales on its own, so you don't need weapons to scale you, but also you like having HP. Yeah, Ghost Scepter specifically, I think, is not bad to have. Because HP. But Ghost Scepter takes a while before it starts working. Like, it probably kicks in too late to actually matter. By that I mean, I think a lot of the times you would lose on this character, you're going to lose before Ghost Scepter gets you to a point where you're safe. But I think this character is just really strong late game. You have so much extra material value of stats from your passive. Yes, monthly, this one is culture only victory with specific math conditions. Designed by Potato McWhiskey. I've watched one or two of his videos. Does he design it, like, for Firaxis? Like, in an official capacity? Yeah, extra stomach will certainly give me the rest of the HP that I may or may not have needed. I think mostly didn't need. I think probably we were okay without it. But I'm going to take it anyway. He made a sponsored video, but he doesn't work for Firaxis. Interesting. That seems like a pretty good collaboration. Is it in the actual Civ game, though? Or is it just on his video? Like, Civ has, like, some button you can press that launches the game of the month or whatever, doesn't it? It is in the Civ game? That's cool. That's a cool collaboration. Good for Firaxis. That is using influencers in a cool way to build excitement for your game and also, like, help people to enjoy your game. In my opinion. Just waiting for Civ 7 at this point. Are there plans announced? I haven't seen any, like... I feel like it's been a while since Civ 6 came out. Why are there so many enemies? Like, this is an elite wave. Why are there also so many enemies? What we're seeing here is that flat damage doesn't scale multiplicatively, and so in late game it doesn't like feel broken. Hey, it's Potato. It is usually strong enough, though, I think. That is a pretty good purchase with 23 engineering. Don't hate it. You're waiting for Endless Legend 2. I thought that was out already. I heard of the fixed TF2 movement. I saw that Team Fortress, is that what it's called? I saw that it was on overall negative Steam reviews. Negative recent Steam reviews. I don't know why, though. What's up? What's going on? Tell me. They just confirmed that Civ 7's in the works. Oh, cool. It makes sense. I imagine there's a team there whose job is just to make the next Civ over and over and over again. It probably, like, has a little bit of turnover, but I feel like probably a Civilization game or DLC has been a project at Firaxis for the last, I don't know, 15 years at least. Casual mode, which is the main mode people play, is practically unplayable because 40% of the lobby is full of aimbot bots. Yeah, that does sound like it would make the game a lot worse. That it feels like negative reviews would be warranted for that. Well, that sucks. I wonder how hard that is to deal with. It is obviously not like at the scale that that game is played at. It's obviously not like a situation where you can just have a person go through and ban everyone. At least I don't imagine so. Do you think that's how they do it? Do you think it's all manual review on every ban? You would need quite a lot of people, I imagine. That's an interesting puzzle, though. I remember when I used to play League of Legends, they had the Tribunal, which was volunteers from the player base who reviewed player reports. They just don't ban anyone at all? Well, that's not... I don't think that's the right solution. You're forced to abandon me to watch someone else, that being YouTube PowerPoint Jorbs. Have fun out there. Stay safe. That YouTube Jorbs is a surly and untrustable fellow. Anvil. Anvil is such a fun item. Unfortunately, I don't really get to buy it here. I feel like I should buy Alloy because it feels very, like, flavor correct for Apprentice, and because we've reached a point where it doesn't matter what I buy anymore, right? It's just irrelevant at this point. Is it? I don't know. There's so many things running at me. Yes, probably it is. I can always go and hang out by the explosive turret that I have if I'm in a wave that's difficult. YouTube Jorbs is real and is your friend. Well, I'm really happy for the two of you. Hey, Exharamation. I am doing well. It has been a really nice stream so far. Is this YouTube Jorbs in the room with us right now? Fucking hope not. Did I lock my doors? I don't know. I feel really strong. You're friends with everyone. You watch Jorbs Parasocial. Nice in Shadow. Congratulations. Haven't community servers always been the best bet for classic multiplayer games? That's what Counter-Strike did, right? At some point that stopped happening. I wonder why. For the really like big prestigious games, I feel like community servers aren't as big a deal. Some of you probably weren't even alive when Counter-Strike was like the king of online gaming. But like you'd open the game and just click on a button that took you to the servers, and it was just a bunch of servers that other people had running that you could join to play. And then you could like run your own server on your own PC. And that was how they did it. That was how Counter-Strike conquered the world. With decent matchmaking and a big enough player base, the queue just works better, you suppose. That is an interesting difference. In Counter-Strike, you didn't have like the expectation that the teams were always going to be perfectly balanced or that all of the players on the server were going to be similar strengths. Like that just wasn't a starting idea that was even being gone for at all. And now we do kind of try to do that. Like we have all these matchmaking ratings and stuff to try to make fear teams so that the game is close. I'm not sure it actually makes the games better. What it's worth. An interesting observation. Balance is overrated. Yeah, I mean, as long as you can have fun, you don't need balance to have fun, I don't think. Alright, that was Stayed Ghost Weapons. A little scary with low HP at first, but eventually took off. Not convinced Ghost Weapons are right on this character. I need to run to the bathroom before we do our next one. We're alongside ManyJorbs for a bit here. ManyJorbs got a few wins in a row. What's the next loss? The next loss is with Golem. Yeah, Golem's kind of hard. And these next two wins are with Cryptid and Fisherman. Both of which are kind of, like, they're very losable characters. I'm gonna run to the bathroom. If not, Nathanius. I'll be right back. Ban matchmaking queues now. Make matchmaking queues for Brotato now. Stop putting me against Smiley on wave 11 every time. I am not good enough to play against it. Cryptid. More trees spawn. Gain 12 material and experience for every living tree at the end of a wave. Plus 3 HP regen for every current living tree. Dodge is capped at 70%, plus 3% attack speed until the end of the wave. When you dodge an attack, you can't lifesteal for some reason. I guess because it scales well with attack speed. I don't know. No range. Well, minus 100 range. That isn't no range. And minus 50% materials drop from enemies. That last part is crucial. That's the real big penalty that we're paying to get the three positives above. Hey, Boogie Boy! Omar St. James, thanks for 4 years. Appreciate it. Appreciate you. So, yeah. Which weapon is it? Chopper again. I understand how to play Ghost Weapon Cryptid. I don't think I understand how to play any other type of Cryptid. There's there's definitely an engineering build that gets Pocket Factory because you get so many trees, so you get so many turrets. That definitely exists. It requires you to get a particular blue item, without which it just doesn't work. So you can't like expect to do that. If it gets offered to me, I'll probably go for it, but you know. Yeah. I think the general goal here is we leave the trees alive, and then we make decisions in the shop phase. Why have I not attacked Jen? I just spent a very long time looking at them. Maybe that's why I don't like Chopper. That was really weird. Oh, it's because I have minus 100 range. I worked it out. Okay, anyway. These are all so bad. I'll take some luck. And some harvesting. Okay, got there eventually. Ooh, thief daggers. I assume that wins. Feels like it wins every other time. I don't know. Very down to be a thief dagger main. Okay. We don't need ghost axe. We've got a thief dagger already. Minus 100 range is really rough. Yeah, I don't want to have minus 100 range. Fortunately, range bonuses are often like plus 20. You don't actually have to buy that much plus range to get to a point where your range is good when you have minus 100 start. It's not like starting with minus 100% damage where it's like, well, I'm never getting that above 0. With range, you can actually get it above 0 pretty quickly. That melee damage isn't awful. Yeah, it isn't awful. Do you want crit chance with thief daggers? But I like a propeller hat. Okay. I got 3 HP regen for every current living tree. Sure, it seems okay. Not incredible. So thief daggers give me money if they roll to see whether they give me money or not every time they kill something with a crit. Also, I have 0% dodge, don't I? Do I want to build into dodge? It caps at 70%, and every time I dodge I get plus 3% attack speed until the end of the wave. It feels like it would be okay. On the other hand, I don't generally like items with dodge on them very much in this game. Because I have thief daggers, so I'll have enough money to buy extra stuff. I think. Thief daggers make you pretty rich. Like a cake. Does the monkey work with thief dagger? It doesn't count as picking up a material to get a kill with thief dagger. Materials give you experience and money, whereas, well, the money is called materials. Whatever the green things are, I think they're called materials. When you pick them up, you get both 1 experience and whatever the money is called, which I also think is materials. So like the materials on the ground give you a material, but also they give you an experience. Which sounds like it would get recursive, but it doesn't. Green thing is materials, and the money is gold. Woo. That works for me. I have all 3 bags already. Is this the run for riposte? I just buy it anyway because I have thief daggers and I'm rich. Buy another fertilizer. One thing about this character is we start off stronger than usual. Our stats indubitably mean that we are stronger than usual at the start of the run. Anytime that happens, you can greed pretty heavily for scaly items at the start of the run. And I already took a bit of flat melee damage, which is the best way to make thief daggers deal more damage at the start of the run. So it's not like I've done nothing to make myself a little bit stronger still. I wonder, with 3 bags, I suspect I'm actually meant to kill trees. And it didn't work. I'm gonna trust my call anyway. That's so many bags. If a tree drops a crate, I just need 1 crate and 4 trees, basically. Or maybe even 5 trees. What's the chance of a tree dropping a crate with 25 luck? It might actually be kind of close. Even when riposte is perfect, it's terrible. Yeah, welcome to riposte. Improved tools I am going to buy because I do not at all mind taking Pocket Factory here, and it would make Pocket Factory significantly better if I got it. Also, the 10% attack speed is just pretty good. We were just thinking about that. At what point is it better to kill trees for crates instead of leave them alive? Yeah, I think we've probably reached it. Like, I want to keep them alive during the wave because they give me HP regen, but toward the end of the wave, I think I'm probably meant to start killing trees with 3 boxes, bags, whatever they're called. Is there... So there's a denominator on the chance for something to drop a crate. And it starts at 1, and then every time you get a crate, it goes up by 1. So the first crate you get halves the chance of future crates being dropped, I think. I might be wrong about exactly how that works. But it's something like that. Does that mean it's better to wait until the end of the wave to roll your things which are likely to drop a crate, to try to get the things which are unlikely to drop a crate with better denominator? Or not? Statistics is really hard. I kind of feel like it doesn't make a difference. But statistics is really hard and often not intuitive. Cryptid is one of the weirdest designs in the game. It is in the name, isn't it? I like the idea that the dev just had a weird idea, and and then made it. I like the idea actually that the dev had a weird idea about something completely different and then made a Brotato character inspired by it. Like this is just some sort of fever dream. You ever wake up from a dream with like, you're like, oh, I just had the best idea for a movie or something, and for like the first like 15 minutes you're awake, you actually think that that's true still, and then after you've been awake for like 15 minutes, you're like thinking about it a bit more and you're like, wow, that would just not be a good movie. Maybe Cryptid's like that, except it actually managed to be a Brotato character. Oddly specific, so what was the idea? Oh no, it happens to me like regularly. This is not a one-time thing for me. We are talking about my life here. I'm a little bit concerned about getting strong enough for the elite. I don't think Warrior Helmet is a sensibly efficient thing to buy right now. We have to be strong enough for Wave 12 Elite. And I think a better way to do that is if I'm going to get defense, we buy it later, and right now we want to focus more on getting offense to make sure that I clear waves to get as much money as possible on them. When you had a kid, when you were a kid, sorry, you had a dream like that about the best Game Boy game ever. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Should I get more than 0 dodge? I sure feel like I'm not using half of my character's innate stat line in any way. Alien Ice kills the trees. I'm not sure that I want to do that yet. More range is good. Let's take some knockback for the things that run at us, because we don't have that much damage. For attack speed, I will buy Missile, I think. I have 31 melee damage, so damage percent is starting to get to a point where it matters. You once dreamed of a revolutionary app idea once, but you think it was just Snapchat and Google Maps in one app. In fairness, I think a lot of very successful companies just put 2 things on one app. Well, not just. They do a lot of other stuff too, but that is one of the things they do. I'm pretty sure I've had dreams about, like, revolutionary ideas for how to play the different Slay the Spire characters before, and then woken up and being like, wow, that's hot garbage. Risius! Sure, I'll take a riposte. It's cheap. 25 more range, 9% speed. Some missile stuff. Another mastery. I actually have so much flat melee damage. I'll take a recycling machine with so many trees. I can get some crates. Are we just like... We must be at a point where I'm meant to kill the trees, surely. Is the Lorax in chat? What does the Lorax have to say? Prismatic Shard and Ironclad so you can dual wheel and double tap claw. Increasing claws already, unlimited scaling. An interesting idea. It's weird how in dreams people you know seem so real with accurate individual dialogue. You could never write accurate individual dialogue for people in real life. Interesting. Wait, that kind of is interesting. Probably in dreams you're not as, like, thoughtful about whether what's happening is real and sensible or not. I don't know. Maybe the dialogue just seems good, but it's actually terrible. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I don't have sustain, so I still kind of want to keep the trees alive during the wave. I'll take these. I'll take these. So many masteries. Four of them already. Shackles would certainly make Pocket Factory better if I found it, but I still haven't found Pocket Factory. I think until I find Pocket Factory, I don't assume that I'm going to find Pocket Factory or care that much about the idea that I could. I can win this run without it. I have Thief Daggers. They're doing great. Want another Alien Eyes? Sure. Next wave's the big wave. If I don't die next wave, I should win. I've been thinking about Brotato more and more as, like, the run is, like, 12 waves long, and then you have a victory lap. Which is not always 100% entirely true. But looking at my, like, last playthrough, like, most characters, if they made it past wave 12, they won. And by most, I mean, like, almost all. I don't mean, like, 51%. I mean, like, I think there might have been one that died after wave 12. Maybe two? I don't know. I should look at that, actually. That's probably untrue. Feels like wave 14 can kill you pretty easily, too. I forgot to do all the crates. Great. Let's look at it. Now I'm curious. We're gonna look at where it actually started. Generalist. Nope. What do you start on? Well-rounded. Where's well-rounded? There. Nope. Well-rounded brawler. Okay, okay. Wave 12, wave 11, wave 14, wave 11, wave 17, wave 11, wave 12, wave 13, wave 11, wave 15, wave 17. Okay. So not all died on 11 or 12, but like there's definitely most of them died on level 11 or 12, and then there's like a small fall off as we go down to none of them dying past wave. I think it was 17 or something. Did we ever continue the Long War II campaign? No, but also I didn't uninstall that game yet. So in my head, I didn't stop playing it yet either. The things my head believes aren't necessarily true. I think I just recycled a medal and then purchased a medal, which feels abnormal. Who is it? Oh, it's Smiley. You have a lot of flat melee damage. Oh yeah, you're strong enough to kill Smiley. Not too bad. Medal's in your top 5 items in the game. It has a number of good stats on it. It also reduces your crit chance. And I'm using weapons that desperately wants to crit, so. I think it's not actually that cost efficient for the stats that it gives. If you, like, look at what that stat reasonably costs on other items versus how much it costs on metal. Metal is actually pretty expensive, believe it or not. That's a thing I have done before. What am I spreadsheet? Sure is. Items, inflation, cost. What the fuck does this all mean? Cost per level. Okay, so I looked at like how much of a stat you could get from a level up, and then I translated the stats I was getting on items into how many level ups they were worth. I also have a naive adjustment here, which is like whether I think the stat is particularly good or particularly bad. I think. I really don't like elemental damage, for example. I don't like dodge very much. But you could like change these if you want a different number. And then cost per level. Are we looking for, we're looking for green numbers? I don't know what we're looking for. And then we're looking at metal. So metal's a 19.68, which is like middling. Not incredible. Mastery is a divide by 0 error. Nice. Worse gold efficiency than leather vest. Insanity, hedgehog. Why don't... Oh, there is a tier thing here. Anyway, I did look at that at some point. And what I found was that metal was like okay, but not incredible. Not to objectify your spreadsheet, but it's looking kind of sexy right now. I've done a lot of analysis for this game. Is there a strat to not propping all of the trees? So the character I'm playing right now, Cryptid, gets buffed by the trees existing and gets experience and gold for every tree that is alive at the end of the wave. So this character very specifically is much less incentivized to kill the trees than other characters. In this run, I do have 3 bags, which give me 15 materials every time a crate drops. And a recycling machine, which means that if the crate drops and has an item I don't want in it, I will get more money than usual for recycling it. So in this run specifically, even though I'm cryptid, I have been killing the trees, but I've been, like, I haven't been that focused on it. I'm sure there have been waves where I've left them alive, and I have been deliberately waiting until the end of the wave to do it when I do it, so that I get the HP regen buff for them during the wave. Torture is not bad here. My only sustain is 1 HP regen and a tentacle. I mean, tentacle's pretty good. Usually torture should be enough to win you the run though, in terms of sustain. Like, you click on that button and you should have enough sustain to win at that point. Boom, ba-dum, 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 ba-dum. Is that horde? Is it just wave 14? I don't know. I'm killing so much stuff with thief daggers, though. I am becoming somewhat wealthy. I should stop getting hit. Oh my god. Okay, there's no way this isn't a horde. I guess when I said there's no sustain for me other than the 1 HP regen, I kind of forgot that I was cryptid, didn't I? My bad. It's fine. Whatever. Let's go armor. I already have 50 flat melee damage. I don't think big arms is good anymore, actually. I'm gonna buy this for 3% crit chance, which is not very efficient. The crit chance should be good in this spot. Two tractors. That's a nuclear launcher. I have minus 15 range damage somehow. I don't even really understand how, but I guess I can't take a nuclear launcher with minus 15 range damage. Is it possible to amplify torture HP regen? I don't believe so. Like there's healing potion or something? I don't remember. There's an item which gives you double HP regen, but it doesn't work on torture. Torture also, it ticks up +4. It goes +4 every time it ticks. So if you have it on like Lich, for example, you don't get +1, +1, +1, +1. You just get 1 +4 tick. Minus 7% overall damage seems like it should be pretty bad. Are we talking about my character, which has minus 7% damage right now? So we're doing okay though. I will take 16% damage. Moss damage. This is we are observing thief daggers be thief daggers this run. Good old thief daggers. I'm just gonna keep buying little frogs because they're cute. Has any company ever at any point in living memory reverted a UI overall that its users hated? There have been features of releases of software that have been reverted that I can think of. Not a common thing to happen though, is it? Will Twitch revert the mobile UI changes? Oh. Oh, I see. What did they do? I don't use the Twitch mobile app at all. How bad is it? Can you still hear me? Hello? Is anybody out there? I've been offered so many lumberjack shirts. It's atrocious. I've been offered so many lumberjack shirts. Hey, it's Pocket Factory. Let's go for it. Bit late for it to matter. The Twitch mobile app has been turned into a Monster Energy themed VTuber. Nice. It doesn't look different. Maybe it hasn't updated yet. I don't know. The mobile app also deleted ManyJorbs. ManyJorbs, my beloved. My favorite thing about ManyJorbs is he's just nice to everyone. Really lights up the room. They finally got him. I'm immediately thinking of the Osama bin Laden situation room. I don't know if that's what you were trying to evoke. Rivendare hits for a lot of damage here. I don't even want it. I don't even want it. Did I not want it because I would get to steal less materials? Yeah, exactly. I was okay with taking Pocket Factory because it's cool. But Rip and Tear would just kill too many things that I could steal money from. Do turrets even do anything? Are my turrets killing stuff? Looks like maybe they are. They definitely kill trees. Works for me. Ooh. Extra stomach seems fine. Damage dealt 19,000. Okay. That is actually a lot. Is it too late for crown? I don't think so. I feel like sometimes you just kind of deserve a crown. With 35 armor, I think Stone Skin may actually be cost efficient. I don't know. These materials are what the youngins describe as stonks. I don't even think that's young people. I think those are people in their like 20s. I guess that's young. Are there people who have the same attitude that morning people have toward the day, toward people's lives? Like, have you ever heard someone tell someone, like, you're already 8, your life is basically over? Maybe in, like, very toxic, like, competitive gymnastics circles or something. Oh, ballet? Maybe. Chess. What do I need to get me through the next wave? Maybe one of those. Alright. It takes me long enough to kill them that it may actually have ended the run faster to think about my shop decisions. GG! If you're 8 and don't have at least a couple of papers on set theory under your belt, what are you doing? I don't think I wore a belt until I was like 14. Wait, I didn't write down Cryptid. Oh. Oh, this is Cryptid. Oh, that's why I hadn't written it down yet. Okay. Wild. Just found Thief Dagger and 1. Lol. I think that's a reasonable summary of the run. I only need 2 more wins. I only need 2 more wins to tie with my previous. I think that's a PB. Well, here's the thing. This like it's the first time I ever did a rotation with random weapons, I think. So it's kind of definitionally a PB. It is the only. It is the PB and the PW. All right. Did I put 21 before winning? No, I think I had it before I transferred over to the spreadsheet, maybe. If it's the first time, what did past Jorbs do? Who was past Jorbs competing against? Only himself. Weird, right? Okay, Fisherman's hard, though. What do we start with? Shredder. Ooh. Okay. Okay, I can maybe do something with that. Fisherman. One of the coolest characters in the game. Also the one I have the worst record on. We can check. We can check. I have won 7 times and lost 42. For context, there's like no other character I've played more than 10 runs on. So this is not a statement that I can only win 14% of the time with Fisherman. This is a statement that I spent like a couple of days just losing Fisherman runs over and over again because it was really fun. That said, I don't feel like super confident with Fisherman. I think when I am trying to win as Fisherman, I probably win like less than 75% of the time. I'm not sure. You don't know how it's possible to win with this character unless you use Spear. Oh, it's definitely possible. It is hard. But it's possible. Shredder is actually pretty good at killing the bait on the first wave. I didn't read what the character does. Oh, I crit it! So I got to kill it. Oh, that was huge, actually. We get +5 max HP. We get +20 harvesting. Shops always sell a bait. Baits cost -100%. We get 2 harvesting for every bait we have. Baits make some special enemies spawn throughout all future waves. And we get -50% materials dropped from all enemies. So we don't want harvesting here. Harvesting is an easy stat for us to get in other ways. I probably want either range damage because I have a Shredder, although it only scales 50% with range damage, so that doesn't buff me yet. Or melee damage with the idea that I'll just take a melee weapon. But I think I can make guns work here. Is it true? We'll see. I think I can go for 2 baits with 3 Shredders. Maybe 4 Shredders? I will take a shotgun as well. Shotgun or revolver? I don't know, just like something. Okay. It is Variety Jorbs Day. One thing that is kind of interesting about bait that you maybe don't realize much if you don't play Fisherman is the lampreys are actually really weak on wave 2. You don't usually get a chance to buy bait on other characters, and you don't fight wave 2 lamprey very often, but like, yeah, they're just pretty killable. Some speed is not awful. I'm going to take another range damage. I'm going to take some speed. Let's take another shotgun. Let's take a bait. Let's take a bait. Roll for a third bait, I think. I think we should probably be buying bags on this run. Alright. You do kind of have to work out how to dodge triple bait. But it is not undoable. Incidentally, this is why I lost on Fisherman 40 times. So I could learn how to do that. Can there be too many baits? Yeah, that'll happen sometime soon, probably. I'm just gonna take harvesting. Fuck it. Is that terrible? Probably. Yeah, I think I want 2 baits here, probably. Let's buy this fertilizer. We're going for range damage. I haven't gone for range damage very much in this rotation. We've never seen different tiers of bait. Is this Fisherman exclusive? Different tiers of bait. All of the baits are blue, if that's what you mean. The bait does have a unique thing where it makes enemies spawn as the wave continues, which is Fisherman. That is unique to Fisherman. Let's go attack speed. Attack speed's real good here. I should generally be able to survive 2 or 3 baits per wave. We don't get that much for buying them anymore. Is kind of a weird thing. We get 2 harvesting. We got 8% damage. But I already have 64% damage. So the amount that more percent damage does for me is somewhat rapidly diminishing. 3? I'm gonna buy weird food. I can go 3. Playing seriously, Fisherman is just buying 10 to 15 baits and then never again because you already got a ton of stats. Hey, Santa Maria! I don't know. Why not keep buying baits instead of stopping buying baits? Like, you eventually reach a point where they just die before they get to you. It remains an okay item. Attack speed, flat range damage. I think flat range damage is actually just good enough to take there. I think 6 max HP is not bad. Some sustain, 1 bait, 2 bait, 3 bait. Let's upgrade our shotguns. One of the weird things about Fisherman that isn't immediately obvious, I think, when you read what the character does, it has a bait in every shop. Which means if you're not buying baits, you are playing a character that sees 25% fewer items. Which is a, like, substantial nerf. Do I ever go past wave 20? I have in my life. I wouldn't say that I do often, though. The music stop? Is my internet still working? Oh, it's here again. Music. Where'd you go? Welcome back. More max HP. Or more speed. More max HP. Some armor, another shotgun. I would love a submachine gun. That would bring me so much joy. I don't think these ranged weapons are very good. They are doing okay, but I would love for them to be better than they are. Shotguns are okay. I really dislike shredders, to be honest. They're not awful at killing the baits at the start of waves, so they're kind of okay on this character for now, but as we get later, they just kind of scale worse than other guns, in my opinion. Do lamprey get stronger as waves progress? I don't think they get stronger faster than like other things do. Like everything gets stronger as waves progress. But they definitely do get stronger. I bought 2 or 3 so far. Are you feeling lucky, kid? Punk. Woo! It is a fun game. Character gets minus 50% materials dropped, so your overall stats are pretty bad without taking the $1 baits. Yeah, it's true. You do make up for that fairly rapidly with the $1 baits, though, I think. Like, I think if we don't die to the enemies running at us, we are stronger than we usually would be. Just the part where the enemies run at us is a little iffy. 1 bait. 2 bait. 3 baits. Oh, tardigrade is not bad at all on this character. I feel like white flag is uniquely good on this character, but I just despise white flag, so I'm not going to buy it. 4? No. I'm not daring enough. One of the weird things about the baits, though, is that as you get more of them, more and more lampreys spawn during the waves. Like those lampreys I just killed were not from the baits at the start of the wave, right? They spawned mid-wave. And it actually can start to get overwhelming. Lampreys showing up from all sorts of different directions halfway through the wave can actually be kind of irritating, especially if you're not strong enough to deal with the rest of the wave easily. I feel like I have caught like 17 dots in a row to kind of make the point. This is why I want SMGs. I think SMGs are much better at killing the random lampreys that show up around me. These guns shoot slowly enough that they often won't target the thing that I want to kill for quite a while. Alright, 1 bait. 2 baits. I don't think I need a vigilante ring. 3 baits. I will take a mutation, I guess. I think just 3 again is okay. I'll take max HP. Red shotgun's pretty decent. Not a single SMG, never SMG. I did lose tardigrade there. I feel pretty good about it though. The dodging has been okay. Flat range damage is really good when we have like 200% damage. So I need to keep an eye out for flat range damage. Also with this much percent damage, we can keep an eye out for like basically anything that deals damage in a weird way that is influenced by percent damage. Baby with a beard would be awesome, but like stuff like Alien Eyes or Cyberball. Is pretty decent. Turrets, unfortunately, don't benefit from percent damage, so we're not well set up to use turrets. Is Pumpkin good here? I don't think Shredders have piercing fall off. And shotguns don't have piercing, right? Oh, shotguns have piercing. Holy shit. I'm an idiot. Yes. Yes, it is. My bad. I'm not an idiot. That was unnecessarily mean to me. But I was not thinking about that. And if I had been, I would have played the situation differently. The bottom left corner the best? I think all corners are the same. Just like, which side do you find it easiest to dodge on? I used to actually find it easier to dodge in the bottom right corner than the bottom left. I used to spend a lot of time camped in the bottom right corner in runs of Brotato. Like every time I was like starting to kind of fall behind, I would go hide in the bottom right corner. Which then led to me not being able to collect materials because I was stuck in a corner. Which then led to me being further behind because I didn't have as many materials to spend on stuff. And eventually I just like got good enough to stand in the middle when there are lots of enemies. And now I win a lot more. So that was my journey. But still, like, I think there's very little downside to using a corner to try to help you dodge against the lamprey at the start of a Fisherman bait wave. I'm a leftist confirmed. I mean... I'll take a tentacle. I have 0% crit chance, so... Ooh, 1 ranged damage. That's actually enough to be worth it, I think. This is an elite wave. I don't think we need to buy bait on an elite wave. I think it's okay not to. I give us permission to pass on baits this time. Maybe 1 bait. No, that's okay. Alright, it wasn't Smiley. Against this one in particular, I think baits would have been completely fine, but we don't know which one it is, so... Oh, Now we have roaming packs of 3 lampreys showing up at random. Starts to get a little bit more intimidating. Where'd the enemy go? Yo, I haven't had a guns run in like the entire playthrough, I feel like. So many thief daggers. I used to love SMGs so much. I'm really sad I'm not going to use SMGs though. Dross is Smiley. It's the crocodile one that charges at you and then makes rings around you and charges at you more. It is responsible for many of my deaths. We could take this. I don't think I have anything that does oh, shredders do explosions. Alright, cool. Yeah, that seems good then. Plasma sledgehammer. That deals 461. Okay. One, two, three. Sure. SMB is kind of bad with high % damage. Why? It depends how much flat range do you have. I guess you might be right though. Other things are better with low flat ranged. I don't have very much flat ranged also. I don't think an SMG would be that incredible right now, but I would still buy it anyway. And I would hope it became better as the run went on. I just really like the way they deal damage. Like which thing they focus and how quickly they attack it. I think it's quite useful. I forgot how easy it is to just not get hit when you have guns. You don't have to like position yourself right next to enemies to deal damage to them, so you get to position much more defensively. +3 ranged damage. Oh shit, if I lock this but I don't bring extra materials, I just can never actually buy it, huh? Okay. So this time I will save some materials to actually be able to buy that. Because of the poor ranged damage scaling. I think they have about the same range damage scaling as other weapons, maybe even better. Because they attack more frequently than other weapons. So they only gain half a point of range damage per flat range you get, but they attack like twice as often as the weapons, which gain 1 point of range damage per range damage that you get. If that makes sense as a general vibe. I'm spending a lot of money on a plasma sledgehammer. I don't even think it's good. It doesn't even seem that good. There's another elite wave. That's not a bad cactus club. Things are getting weird all of a sudden. Wheat should be good here. This should be good. Is the entire shop good? I want a cactus club. Do I? I don't know. gosh, that just got sludged. Alright, that was pretty good. It feels like from here I could easily not buy baits anymore and win. I could also keep buying baits and win. We reached a point where... Alright, the one thing that I could kind of use is better sustain. Also, the Plasma Sledgehammer deals a lot of damage, but being in range of things to hit them with it is a little iffy. Panda seems great. Ooh, another one. You dealt 9,000 damage last wave, which is like on par with my ranged weapons. I'm just gonna get rid of it. Not good enough. Sorry, Plasma Sledgehammer. You're dealing barely more damage than a level 1 shotgun. What's the fun in not buying as many baits as possible? It's fair. I've already played the game like that, though. Does anybody remember what my bait PB was? I feel like it was like 120 or something. A lot of the Fisherman losses in the spreadsheet were while I was trying to go for as many baits as possible in one run thing. I don't have much sustain, but the weird food making consumables heal for 7 instead of 3 is like, they're so powerful. Weird food is such a good item. And healing off consumables is extra good because you can leave them on the ground until you actually need them. Another elite wave. Okay, that one I'm going to take. Can I buy it now? I have to sell a red thing. Maybe it's worth it though. Is this explosion size to 15%? Yeah, I'll wait until next wave. Smiley. This one's Smiley. I suspect I am okay against it. I am very strong. GG. I think we got Cryptid and Fisherman wins done. I don't have much commentary on how truncation changes the value of damage percent for low versus high damage weapons. It just seems like a thing that is brain hurty, and do we have to think about it? I don't know. Couldn't we just not think about it? Is that anti-intellectualism? What do you think, Twitch chat? Elites have equal amounts of health. Not. healthy to sometimes not think about things, for sure. For sure. So when I was looking at the different weapons in Brotato, I didn't get all the way through it. But I was looking at the order of stats to buy to maximize their damage using a greedy algorithm that looked at like which stat increases DPS by the most right now, and then bought it, and then looked at which stat increases DPS by the most right now, and bought it again, over and over again. And SMGs mostly liked flat range damage for quite a while, and then liked damage percent eventually. They don't do well with crit SMGs. That's the thing they actually don't do well with, I'm pretty sure. Explosion size, hell yeah. Becomes less impactful later in the game as slot numbers go higher and you want to prioritize flat damage early game anyway. That is perhaps like an important rule of thumb as a takeaway to keep in mind, is that like pretty much everything in the game wants you to just take flat damage for it early. For at least the first few waves, like that's the most efficient way. Well, buying more weapons is the most efficient way at the start to improve your damage, but in terms of stats, you just want flat damage for the weapon type you're using at first. And not because there is a breaking point for crit damage that makes it better. It's because SMGs have 1.5 crit scaling, and lots of weapons have like 2x crit scaling instead of 1.5. So crits are just like literally less relevant for them than other weapons. Why do I have a purple shotgun unlocked when I can't even buy it? I could turn my monitor into a strobe light. Sounds like a great time. You buy fertilizer for the harvesting. Here, going into wave 20. I have 292 harvesting. We ended up at 42 bait. Oh, you're saying crit isn't good until it hits a breakpoint where it is good? That's true. I don't think that's a problem with the model. I think that's just, like, mathematically true. Good win! Good win. What guns? Shotguns and shredders and 3 times bait per weight. Is that in this spreadsheet? That might not actually be in this spreadsheet. What does this link go to? DPS max SMG build. Oh, you first take 1 attack speed because the first attack speed improves SMGs by an entire frame. And they like start off attacking every 4 frames, then go to 3 frames. Because they go from like 4.0 to 3.8 or something, and it truncates to 3. It's like the inverse of why damage percent is a little bit worse on them. Attack speed is a little bit better on them. Well, quite a lot better on them. And then you never take attack speed again. That's really funny. Bunch of range damage. What actually is this? Wait, I'm confused. That's not attack speed. I'm sorry, I'm completely wrong. That is your tier 1 weapons. Okay, I'm reading their graph wrong. So your first 5 buys should just be another tier 1 SMG. At that point, it starts being worth it to take range damage up to 15. At that point, you kind of alternate attack speed, damage, and ranged damage for a pretty long time until you get to 20 flat ranged and like 8-ish attack speed and damage percent, at which point you start upgrading to tier 2 SMGs. And you just keep buying flat ranged attack speed and damage percent. And you basically never actually want to go to tier 3 or 4 SMG. Here's the thing. Here's the thing though. Like, this is assuming that all of the things have equal costs. But the thing that is in your shop has lower cost because you don't have to roll to find it. So if you are actually offered an SMG upgrade to tier 3 or 4, like probably just buy it because it's in your shop, right? Is attack speed the time between attacks? Yeah, it's like your weapon cooldown. Golem! I lost with Golem on... I didn't show the spreadsheet. I didn't show the graph. I need one more win in my next 8 runs in order to tie my previous best. And anything above that is bonus. Is distance to past JORBs. Golem was one that I lost last time. I do find Golem kind of hard. I don't really understand how to play this character with anything other than SMGs, to be totally honest. Usually, the way that I play this game is reliant on the idea that I can regen my health over the course of time. Does attack speed have breakpoints in this game? It does, yeah. Like shields on Golem? I have had success with shields and with ranged weapons, and that's kind of it, I'm pretty sure. Pistol! Shooty? Shooty Golem? Could do something with this, maybe. Pistol is also one of the most fun weapons to play Wave 1 with. Oh, I forgot. Golem actually wants to take damage on Wave 1 because once we get low enough, we get more attack speed. I fucked up. I could have gotten a tree. Ugh! I am the worst Golem player in the world. Oh well. Okay, I'm gonna commit to guns, I think. If I win 2 and lose 6, it gives you the best chance of back-to-back PBs. Okay. Do I roll? Hitting SMG in particular is kind of hard. I want pistols, they're terrible. Pistols are weird. I don't know I had it in this sheet. Pistols have one of the most unique upgrade paths, though. Let me see if I can find the sheet where I have more stuff. Because I have more than this. Somewhere. Weapons, stat builds. This sounds like it. Pistol maximization. Pistol maximization is wild. I mean, the graphs are hard to read, but we're meant to buy the tier 1 pistols and then also upgrade them to tier 2 immediately before we even buy flat range damage. And then you get to tier 4 pistols before it becomes efficient, basically, to buy, like, anything else for them. There's, like, a little bit of attack speed, a little bit of range damage, but for the most part, you just want to upgrade to tier 4 pistols, and the stats don't actually keep up with how good it is to upgrade pistols at first. It is so strange. Like, no other weapon in the game is like that I have seen. I'm going to buy the 2 guns, given what I have just observed about pistols, and then I can upgrade them. You can use the stats like speed, armor, range, and engineering are on that graph. Well, for some weapons, those stats scale, right? And all the graphs are the same, but have different data put in them, so. Tier 3 pistol, not a worthwhile upgrade on the graph. Well, you just, like, buy a tier 3 pistol and immediately upgrade it to tier 4 over and over again. So tier 3 pistols are there. It's just you go buy tier 3, buy tier 4, buy tier 3, buy tier 4, buy tier 3, which is actually kind of common. It's actually kind of common that tier 3 by itself. That is actually one way that the algorithm isn't greedy. I am remembering now. The algorithm that I wrote will actually look for whether it's worth it to go from tier 2 to tier 4. And won't only consider the upgrade from tier 2 to 3. So it's a situation where going from 2 to 4 is worth doing. It's also possible that going from 2 to 3 is worth doing. I don't know. Does the graph show how good tier 4 shotgun upgrade is in your head? I don't think it can show you the stuff that's in your head. Why don't SMGs exist in this game anymore? Currently playing as blank. Luck. Luck. Shotgun. Wait, did I not do shotgun? I was going in alphabetical order? Oh no, I did shotgun earlier. Shotgun likes... I mean, it eventually goes to tier 4 weapons, but it doesn't like them that much. I think most weapons spend a long time on tier 2. It does like the tier 4 weapons a lot more than buying the tier 3 weapons. Like, the tier 3 version of shotgun is bad enough that it doesn't bother to go to tier 4 for longer than it would otherwise, maybe. I don't know. Does that make sense? No, probably not. Anyway, that's what shotgun looks like. Guns! Guns are generally pretty strong at the start of the run, and then whether they remain strong or not is questionable. They can get overwhelmed. If you just don't find enough damage, they will not kill things. I found an SMG. Big fan, big fan. It's so weird because the character scales so well off of like max HP and stuff, but I think I'm actually just going for guns and I don't want to buy a metal plate. With guns, I kind of have to just try to go for as much damage as possible in a very greedy way. Love the revolvers, dealing more damage than the tier 2 pistols very consistently. The tier 2 pistols are trying their best. You missed our first SMG purchase. Yeah, I bought an SMG. We did it. Well done, everyone. I am not buying another pistol. Roll? 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 I want a shredder to have one AoE thing. I don't know, I don't think so. We definitely want 2 flat range damage. Maybe I do. Pistols aren't getting to pierce, it's not their fault. Sure. I'll take the blame. Galeostru, thanks for the raid! Hope you had a good stream, hope you're doing well. Yeah, the shredder feels worth it. Got an interesting little blend of guns here. Definitely use more flat range damage. I think speed is a good stat. Hot take, I know. I think a 66 material piggy bank is fine. I like roll once still though. Buy a headshot. What if I also took a ghost scepter? Just like every different gun. Oh my god, I could have like 6 different weapons. And then just die to an elite. Ghost Scepter's conceptually appealing to me on Golem, though. Scepter will struggle to finish things. Yeah, I think that's true. Hadn't noticed until now, but that's a nice room I am sitting in. Why, thank you. I like my room. Why does Coupon also look like a piggy? Holy shit. I never noticed that before. I don't know. Not sure anybody knows. We're deliberately letting these eggs hatch so that we can kill extra stuff and get more materials. Fury and Evil, thanks for the prime. Appreciate it. I'll take 8% damage, I suppose. Take 10 harvesting. More damage percent. More attack speeds. Oh, order? Lure for the items, because I don't benefit from HP regen as Golem. I think it's fine. Incendiary turret is good. I think pencil should be good once I have an incendiary turret. Incendiary turret just like deals relevant damage in a run where like it's not like I have deep daggers or whatever. And I'm very much just trying to reach a point where I have a critical amount of damage to kill the enemies on the wave. Is torture on this character good or overpriced? Well, the character can't heal, so I guess you get max HP. I suspect that the max HP is overpriced, though. 12-7 in your Frisbee League game tonight. Nice. Congratulations, Zan. Yeah, I think that's overpriced. Feeling good about the incendiary turret purchase. Like all of its damage is mattering, basically. Sure. Nope. Okay. Okay. A book will like weave in some turrets, I guess. I don't care about crit chance anyway. And I do like speed. 3 sub players, and it was 85 degrees to 81% humidity. Oof. Oof. That's a lot of running. Get some hydration going. If you need any coaching advice on like recovery, I'm sure Twitch chat can help. They're great with medical advice in particular. Yeah, I used to play like every character tried to hybridize into a little bit of engineering and luck damage as well as the other stuff, and then eventually I realized it was bad. But I sure do seem to be doing it right now. Just an interesting observation that I'm making about what's happening in this run. Reroll. More attack speed. Just like harvesting, or I think I roll. I think more attack speed, actually. Would I like a shotgun? I have all of the other guns. It looks decent. It probably immediately deals more damage than the pistol. Sharp bullet makes SMGs kind of pop off. It makes all of my other weapons like worse though. Sharp bullet's very much like if you're going for 6 SMGs, you would love this item thing. Should Bunny also grant 1 free level up reroll? No, I don't think so. I think it's already good enough to almost always be a purchase, so it doesn't really need to do that too. Let's take the double barrel shotgun and not take the sharp bullet. I think kill the pistol. Goodbye, pistol. I don't think I have enough explosion damage to care about that. I immediately roll a blue shredder. This is the problem with having 4 different weapons. It's really hard to actually upgrade your weapons. Probably helps the revolvers. Yeah, a little bit. You're not wrong. I don't think the shredder's the most important weapon here. I'm going to recycle the white one and buy a blue one. Silver bullet actually good. I'm trying to kill the first elite. Alien Eyes is good, SMG is good. You actually touched the disc tonight, which was first time in your entire life someone has ever said you are outrunning them. Nice. I outran people when I was 8 several times. The people were also 8. I have very short legs. my torso is like... I'm like, that really stretchy Godskin enemy in Elden Ring. I have a very long torso, but my legs are just regular size. I'm not built for speed. Did that have the SMG dealing the most damage this wave? I will take a pumpkin. Huh, kind of surprised. You've seen the Slay the Spire calc streams. Oh, you know that I'm not built for speed. Fair. I feel like this might give me an entire extra hit. That seems worth buying. Peacock's a bit awkward because I'm out of revolvers. Revolvers don't scale incredibly well. Peacock's a little bit awkward because I can't buy it until wave 12, which is an elite wave. Probably a Zendai, but I'm not going to click on that. But probably. And go with yes. Is it me? I don't know. You tell me. Or the rest of Twitch Cat can let me know. Huh. This feels like a decent wave for revolvers, actually. I think I'm okay. Looks like I have enough damage. The shotgun's doing work. There's also Golem, if you get below 50% health, you get a bunch of attack speed. Like, you suddenly become stronger. So... the fact that I'm surviving okay without being below 50% health suggests that even if I start to get overwhelmed at the end of the wave here, I should be okay. Alright, good. Ranged damage, flat range damage, good. I'd really like more. I'll take armor, that's okay. A good wave for my shotguns. Get rid of shredders now, I think. Okay, who is it? Dots. Oh fuck, I'm dead. I'm not dead. Holy shit. It didn't die, right? No, it didn't die. I tried to kill it so hard. Got in a really bad spot in the middle of the wave there. My poor brain. Hey, it's a nuclear launcher. Well, that's better than SMGs. You can take Triangle of Power eventually. I do not want blood donation as this character. I do not want fairy. It was fine until it wasn't, and then it was fine again. I was so close to killing it. Man. I bet if I had the revolvers. Alright, it's another elite wave already. There's no respite for the wicked. Or me. Take a target grade? Sure. +1 hit for the wave. If you would actually die this time, that would be kind. Good. Now we're on cleanup duty. I have like one of every turret. I have the tier 1, the tier 2, the tier 3, Tyler. I don't have the tier 4 yet. I don't have a medical turret. I probably won't bother buying a medical turret this run though. As Golem cannot heal. Yeah, that makes this item worse. Do we hybridize into Cyberball? I don't know. Let's do this. Let's do this. Do that. It's a free reroll? Okay. I should have taken explosion damage there actually. Crown. It's a bit late. This does actually feel like a run where I should try to make the right choices. If I get far enough ahead and I get an explosive turret, I'll buy the medical turret too, so we can have the entire family. It's on my radar. With this many free rerolls, I actually could be using Piggybank a bit more aggressively, I think. Do I have Pocket Factory? Not yet. Shotgun is dealing more damage than SMGs, but I really like SMGs. I don't want to talk about it. Just let me buy my SMGs in peace. +2 luck for every 1% crit chance you have, -22. Could be good. Pocket Factory. What does it mean? Is that like a thing? Pocket battleships were a thing. Maybe they're still a thing. Somewhere in the world has to make pockets. Is that what it is? It's a factory for making pockets? How did I not realize that? Alright, another elite. Ow. Actually, I don't know what hit me there. Well. Anyone remember Mighty Max? It was the boy version of Polly Pocket Toys. Pretty sure there was a cartoon too. I do not. I remember Polly Pocket. Run is popping off. Found your old Mighty Max toys not long ago. Huh. Pocket Factory is a efficiency service for beverage bottling plants. I suppose it is a factory that fits in your pocket? Can I just stand still? No. I'm tired of... Oh! That one wave was really stressful. I have since progressed to winning easily, which is nice. That one wave was really stressful, though. Brotato is a game which can get my heart rate going a bit. This thing. Right. It feels very strange, though, for my heart rate to be going when this is what the run looks like right now. This is that thing I was just saying, right? Where, like, I'm starting to think about Brotato more as being a, like, 12-wave long game with a victory lap, instead of thinking about it as a 20-wave long game. Part of that's probably just how aggressively I'm prioritizing harvesting, though. Like, some of that is my strategy. If only there was a way to track my heart rate. You'd like a heart rate monitor on stream? I've thought about doing that. I feel like I would find it kind of weird for people to know what my heart rate was all the time. Feels like a invasion of my privacy somehow. Which one deals more damage? Oh, you're referring to the ring I'm not wearing. It only actually tracks your heart rate when you're sleeping, I think. Probably tracks it the rest of the time. I don't know. Heart rate only available to subscribers. You can follow the special subscriber only stream on a different website where you get to see extremely personal things about me. I wonder if anyone's ever tried something like that before. Golem! Gun run again. Gun run. Gun run. Gun run. SMGs and nuclear launchers. One elite was a bit dangerous, but mostly user error. I've drawn level with how many wins I got in my last rotation.